So when powder coating slugs, found that it's very good to stand them on the bases. The bigger the slug or bullet, the more we want to stand them on their bases when they're being cooked in the oven. At any rate, we're going with 20 minutes at 400 degrees. And you see I've got an old coffee can down here to act like a little hot or cold receptacle. So when it's time, you bring the next tray and set it on your cold receptacle. And then you got the hot slugs that you can pull out and just set on top of your oven like this. They're beautiful. Then the next one can go in because you can't pick it up off a flat surface very easily, but you sure can off the top of a coffee can. So put it in. There's your next 20. Now we can let the ones on top cool a little bit, or we can take it right away and put them onto a garage floor. Like this. Now you'll notice no water quenching needed when we're doing slugs, because you want them soft anyway. And in case you wondered, I used a potato salad plastic tumbler to tumble those slugs with Eastwood powder. And it took 75 cycles like this. Only took about 30 seconds to gyrate that 75 times, and then we dump them out. And then the important thing is when we're putting the slugs onto their bases that you tap, say, about 3 times to get any clumps out of the inside of the slug, because those clumps will make solid powder coat and interfere with the seating of the wads later on. So you do want the inside clear. You don't need powder coat inside the slug anyway. The important thing is to powder coat all the bearing surfaces, and the rest is all for kind of aesthetic, pleasing nature to it. But the bearing surfaces are where you want to have the powder coat. But anyway, there you go. And these came out beautifully. And of course, the timers on our phones are so handy, I can go ahead and find something else to do for 18 minutes while the next batch is cooking. So it really doesn't take that much time to do a lot of slugs. In case you're wondering, that's the workplace, and I had 2 sheets of aluminum foil there to act as a shield and also be able to pick up the powder and put it back into the tumbler. And cleanup was just using paper towels with dampened with water, and it just cleans right up as you see. And when I handle the slugs, to put them onto their bases, some nice latex or nitrile gloves available at Costco or other outlets, and it's cheap and easy and clean, works real well. Just pick up the slugs and put them on their bases by hand using the nitrile or latex gloves. Now, of course, pens work real well when they're lined with anti-stick foil or parchment paper. And those are available at your 99-cent store. Don't buy the real expensive stuff that might be at Safeways or Lucky. Just go to your 99-cent store and get your parchment paper. Works real well. And you don't have to worry about saving it, just throw it out because it's cheap. Now I know how you like to see the slugs coming out of the oven. Look at that, they're just beautiful. But remember the principle of the hot lead zone, and that is everything is hot all the time. So we wear our gloves because all these are hot. 400 degrees will still do some serious damage. Anyway, we take those out, put them on top of our coffee can to cool. We could have put another batch in, but that's it, we're done. give you a look at those. And you'll see that there are no clumps inside, and that parchment paper is non-stick. Really works well. And you can use the parchment paper over a couple times before you throw it out. So that even increases the economy. We'll just add these to the rest of them, like you see there. Comes right off. Yeah, you see, we can use that over again and in fact turn it over and use the other side. Not bad. And here's a close-up showing how the insides are nice and clear. No clump powder down there. Good wad seating. See, they're all clear in there. Nice Eastwood powder coat. Makes the job easier. Much easier to use a good powder. In case you wonder, there are some little speckles you see in there. That's caused by the addition of a little bit of some old Harbor Freight white that I had. Just kind of sprinkle a little bit of that into the Eastwood powder, and that results in getting those little sprinkles, those little highlights in there. That's not necessary to do, of course. Not at all. Those are not bare areas. Those are little highlight sprinkles that I purposefully added in there. Give it a little bit of character. And the effect on the hydrant slugs is also pleasing. But if you don't want that, you certainly don't have to have it. Just don't add anything to your raw Eastwood powder. Wondering, it only takes about 4 minutes for these to cool enough to handle them very easily. So there's the production, and everything's put away and cleaned up. We're ready to go to the next step in our reloading of these slugs. This is the powder coating. Bye for now.